espectáculos y el entretenimiento. Radio Metro fue imposible sacar tu recuerdo de mi mente. Fue imposible olvidar que algún día yo te quise. Tanto tiempo pasó desde el día que te fuiste. Allí supe que las despedidas son muy tristes.
Y para conducir este programa queda con ustedes Angélica Benavides, Doctor D.
Hello everybody. I am so delighted to be here today. This is Facturando tu Historia, or Profit from Your Story. We always have powerful conversations. It's considered the power talk show, really, where we dive deep into captivating, like the radio show interviews, where we delve into conversations where we have global experts around the world that they're uncovering insights that can transform your narrative and success. So with me today, I have my son, Jorge Vasquez. Yay! It's really exciting to have my sons come to the show because it's been my dream. I used to create like vision boards, and I would put my kids on my vision board sharing the stage with me, and I even drew like a little child, and they're like, why are you drawing a baby? They weren't even married at the time. So that was really exciting. But we are live on Radio Metroplex. We are in Arlington, Texas, the capital of sports, events, and entertainment. So yay.
And the rock and roll.
And rock and roll also. So Jorge, my son is Jorge, and he's the oldest of the two. So tell us, Jorge, I'm so happy you're here.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. I asked him, hey, do you want to be on the radio show? And I just told him to tell him, and he's like, yes. And then I was like, okay. He said yes. He said yes. Thank you. I'm excited. Anyways, we can be goofy on the show. But Jorge, tell us a little bit of your story. Like, what brought you? Everybody that comes on the show, we're always sharing stories so that we can captivate, motivate, inspire people to gain confidence so that they can step into their greatness and they can have the courage to do what they really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us, what in life, first introduce yourself, and then you're going to tell people what happened in your life that really motivate you to go after your dreams.
Okay. So my name is Jorge Vasquez. I'm a first degree black belt under Danny Alvarez in Arlington, Texas. Me and my brother Diego Vasquez, we have our own academy located in Grand Prairie, Texas, next door to Arlington. So if you're in the area, stop by, check us out. And so to answer the second question, there's a few things. Growing up, I liked sports my whole life. My mom has put me in sports since I can remember 4 years old. All kinds of sports. But one thing or another that didn't stick, And finally I got to high school and I drifted away from sports and just wasn't making the best decisions, and I felt kind of lost. So fast forward a little bit, I'm in my trade school, I'm in AP school, and I still feel lost. I feel like I need a purpose, I didn't really, those thoughts didn't come to mind. I need a purpose. I just was wanting to find something to keep myself busy, basically. I found jiu-jitsu. I would work out. I'll backtrack. I found working out. I like lifting weights, working out. So the gym I would work out at, I would have to drive by a jiu-jitsu gym, which is my coach, his gym. but I didn't know what jiu-jitsu was. So I Googled it and it looked kind of funny to me. Two people rolling on the ground. Like, I don't want to do that. So time went on and I had an acquaintance that would wear his shirts. I'm like, oh, you do jiu-jitsu? He's like, yeah, you should come by. You'll like it. I'm like, oh, okay. So the seed was planted. And then I worked at Office Max here in Arlington. I met my coach's dad, senior Daniel Alvarez Senior, and I saw him with the shirt. Hey, do you work there? You know, I stopped him. He's like, yeah, we have a 30-day free trial. Come on by. So I was like, wow, 30 days, okay. So I tried it out, and I went July of 2012, and I got my butt whooped. I came home, my knees were all raw from rolling on the mats. I went to the backyard and threw up from the adrenaline, and I was like, my mom was like, I don't know if you should do that again. You don't look too good. I'm like, I don't know what happened, but I gotta go back. It was like, I just had to go back. I had no idea what happened to me, but I got beat up by a 13-year-old, and I was just like, how did this happen? And I haven't stopped since. The journey's been 11 years now.
11 years. And you know, my other son Diego tried it also, and he gave up and didn't go back for a couple of months, right?
Like 2 years.
Yeah, for about 2 years, because it is a sport, a martial arts sports, I want to call it.
It's
or both, right? Martial arts and sports, where it's very challenging, but it requires a lot of discipline.
Yes.
A lot of discipline.
Mm-hmm.
So what has it done for you?
Well, the discipline, it took a little bit of time. I just naturally loved it, and so I just would show up. And as the years went on, I was like, I saw my coach had a lot of success competing, or just, having a lot of success on the mats. I saw my teammates like, hey, asking questions. What do you guys do? Oh, we don't eat that bad before class. We like to drink a lot of water. And little I realized the decisions and the choices I make affect how I perform on the mats. So that slowly started to change. My friends would want to go hang out, drink some beers. Slowly, okay, I'm not going to drink as much. Sooner, 11 years later, they don't even ask me really to go drink anymore. They just ask me to hang out because they know I have jiu-jitsu the next day. So just the drive to get better jiu-jitsu led me to being a more disciplined person. But a byproduct of that is, well, if I'm disciplined with my life choices outside of jiu-jitsu, I can see improvements. So they kind of go hand in hand. The martial arts lifestyle has helped lead my life into the direction I would like. I have a good career. I have my wife of 13 years. We have our baby, the house. And it wasn't just an act. Sometimes I feel blessed, like, wow, how did this happen? But if I just kind of pat myself on the back, sometimes I'm like, well, those are the choices I make. So it's the same thing with the martial art lifestyle. You make these decisions, daily decisions, they can, in the long run, benefit you. So I'm still a work in progress. I'm still learning to do things. Another thing about martial arts and discipline is the self-talk, how you talk to yourself. What do you think about yourself? What do you tell yourself? My mom's big on that. My coach Alvarez is big on that. So, yeah, martial art discipline is just, it's my life now. It's who I am.
Yeah. And what I want to tell people out there that you're watching, because this show is to inspire you, but a lot of times people see success and they're like, oh, they were born successful. But we weren't, right? We weren't born successful. And we're not successful.
Chécate el sonido. Sí.
Ajá. Sí. Sí, se oye bien. Sí. Me mandas el link para mandárselo a la chica. Okay, so as we're going, I mean, things have happened in life, and I always say that I wouldn't go back and change like those tough moments. Ahí está, sí. I don't think that I would go back and change any of those tough moments that we experienced, because they shaped us and brought us to where we are
Yes.
now, right?
I agree.
So what do you think?
So as far as like people, when I, coming up through the ranks, as far as I'm just gonna give specifically like competition. You look and some people are born talented, yes, but the people that have long term success are the people that are disciplined and work hard consistently for a long period of time, and that's how you just see the success. But sometimes they had to grind and work their way years that you don't see them running, eating clean, sleeping early. You don't see all that. You just see, and so along a lot of times I'd be like, man, how are they so lucky to be like that? I want to be like that, and I would have my success, but I think a lot of it was due to because I do work hard. I do make a lot of sacrifices. Some people might think I'm talented, which I might have some natural talents, but I do work hard, and I've reaped the benefits. So as well as some to on the second part is, for example, I used to get mad at my mom. Man, mom, why did you move us from Laredo? Well, then I wouldn't have met my wife. I wouldn't have my daughter. I wouldn't have probably found jujitsu. Who knows? So there's certain choices I made when I was younger that it was a fork. I could have gone one way or another way. This event happened, and it took me to where I am right here on this radio show. Who knows
Where it's gonna
where?
take you.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So.
I love it. I love it. We also have a guest online that we're going to bring. And I want to say hi to Diamantina. Hola, Diamantina. And I want to say hi to Angie, who's watching, and all those that are connecting online. Big hugs and thank you for joining us. Make comments, ask questions so that we can answer them, because the show is all about telling stories to inspire, motivate, and give people confidence so that they can step into their greatness. There is a lot of depression happening in the world. There's a lot of challenges and chaos. But how do we live through that chaos? How do we manage what we're experiencing and yet step into the light, step into being courageous enough to take the next steps? So, hello. Anju, are you there? Can you see me or can you hear us?
Yeah.
Hi, hello. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Great.
Yeah.
Hello. I am so delighted that you're here. Help me make sure that I'm pronouncing your name, Anju.
Yeah, perfectly. You are saying it very well.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure. Well, let me tell
No,
everybody.
you're
Anju, this is my son, Jorge. Anju, and Jorge, that's Anju. For those of you that are watching, I met Anju in Las Vegas a couple of months ago. We have a big movement happening in the educational sector with Donna Vallese. She's my partner, business partner, and we are creating the Ed Matadores community, and we're writing a collaborative book so that we can really make changes in the educational system and have a voice in different communities around the world. And Anju, we met her and she joined this book collaborative book project. And I'm so honored, Anju, that you said yes, because education is a big part of what I've done my whole life. For about 30 years, I've been in the education sector and beyond. So tell us a little bit about who you are and where you live right now.
okay. So, as you already mentioned, introduced me so well, thank you so much for the opportunity where I can share my voice with more people. I believe is like sharing helps everyone, be it the speaker or the listener, because it makes some difference. So, thank you so much for the opportunity and the introduction. I'm Anju. I'm located in San Antonio, Texas. And yes, it was really amazing to meet you in your person, and you have that vibe which brings that positivity and hope around. So it was a pleasure meeting you in person and now seeing you here on live. So that has been amazing, and I'm very excited for our collaboration. We are working on the book, we all are writing chapters, we want to make some changes in the world. So it doesn't matter it's how big or small it is, we are taking the step to make that difference, and I'm very excited and looking forward to it. And now, talking about me as a person, I'm a domestic violence survivor, and being a survivor, I learned a lot from the life and from my experience. It gave me more understanding about the people around me. And when I was listening to the other speaker health, and like how people are not focusing on sleeping on time or what they are eating, so that's true, it affects overall growth and like a person's ability to achieve something. And nowadays people are having so many schedules and completely out of their life, so they need to focus more. So I agree with him. Now coming back to our project, I am writing about building future leaders. So when we talk about education, people are like, oh, that's just the school system. Maybe they are trying to change the school system. I'm like, no, we are trying to have some change on the roots. And when we talk about school, that's a part of a root of a child or any individual who is going to grow up and enter the community and make difference in their life and others around them. So instead of focusing on changing things when they grow up, why we should not give them the better place to grow up and work on the roots, which includes our households and their friend circles, community, and the most importantly, school is the part and the place where a student, a child, uh, spend their most of their time. So that's very important. Then talking about my special topic, like building future leaders. So as you are sitting here, you never planned to become a host at a radio show or become editor or writer, but it was somewhere in your heart you wanted to do it since beginning. And I have seen myself also, I work with so many individuals, they wanted to do something in their life, but they didn't do that on that time. It got delayed because no one believed their ideas when they were in the school. They were taken just for granted. Oh, you are a child, this idea doesn't work at all. And I want to bring that up in every child, like whatever your idea is, it matters and you can create something big out of it. So I'm on a mission where I'm training kids, especially middle school kids, and helping them to create a proper plan and strategy, that whatever their idea is, it can become reality one day. And you don't have to wait till you grow up, you are in your 30s or 40s to implement that. If you have the right resources, you can work on it from today. So that's why it's building future leaders. So they don't have to wait and delay their growth, they can do it from today.
I love it. I love what you're saying because that's what I would always tell my boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would always tell them as they were growing up, it's like you don't have to wait to be an adult or to be a grown up first to make money or to really have ideas and help them blossom. But I think in the educational system, that's part of a myth where we're preparing them for the future, yes. But we
Yes.
also, I think at middle school and high school, we should already start emerging them into what they want to be in the future and start helping them blossom that idea. What do you think? Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. Like as far as our business that me and my brother started, we purchased our LLC in 2020, but we really didn't get going until this year. So that's 3 years sitting on an idea, thinking, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. Well, I could have been a lot farther now if I started then. I just hesitated, and I felt I had to
Yeah,
wait. I'm too young. People aren't gonna.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I understand. And like I'm coming from the point of like trauma effect also, that kids, they get traumatized because they are so excited with their ideas. Recently I was in one conference where like kids were presenting their ideas, like business ideas, and when I'm like, okay, give me a presentation, and they were so excited, and I'm like, okay, what's the next step? And they looked at each other face. I'm like, no, this was just a school project. I'm like, no, I believe in your idea. I see a vision here. You can create a business plan out of it. And they were like, really? And they followed up with me. We can do that. Like but in our generation, what happened, we also had those ideas, but someone shut us down. Like, no, just keep it here, grow up, finish your school, find a job. And that's how. And when the time came when we are grown up and we have those opportunities, like just Angelica, when I had the opportunity to become author,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere I was holding myself like, no, I'm not a writer, I cannot write, because these were the voices told in my head somewhere in back when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me weeks to say yes, like, yeah, I want to write a chapter. So I want to work on this problem right now who are in the school. It doesn't matter they are in second grade or in sixth grade or in eighth grade or 10th grade. If we can help at least one child or two child to believe in themselves and start working on their ideas right now, we can have a big name in the future.
Absolutely. I totally agree. It's about building confidence, building character in the schools, and helping them, like you said, putting that business plan together, like having someone that's supporting them and telling them you can do this, and believing in them. So I love what you're doing because children, students need that focus on developing their ideas. I'm just going to see if our other guest is going to hop on. He should be hopping on very soon. So I apologize for looking at my phone, but I was trying to see if he's already joining us. So, one of the things with the educational system also is I feel that they need more entrepreneurship programs, because not everyone will go to college.
Yeah.
And if they're not going to college, then they're going to some vocational, some trade school. But at the same time, I'm thinking that we should be able to talk about entrepreneurship and build them in that area, because my kids, I ended up homeschooling them, and they're going to be successful even if they didn't go to a traditional school. They're building their own business. I've always kind of talked about them having their business and going after their dreams, and always supporting them and encouraging them. And I think that we should do the same for other kids that have big ideas,
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. And there is so much to learn from you in person also. Like, you are amazing. I follow you on Instagram, I follow you on Facebook, and I'm like, this woman is like superpower. Like, you are an inspiration for people like me who just started and want to do something in their life. So you motivate us every day to get out of the bed and do something amazing. So thanks for doing that and raising
Thank you.
gentlemen, raising some gentlemen also, so that also help women. So you're doing a good job.
Thank you. And one of the reasons I do that is because I did encounter a lot of struggles in my health. And for so many, like maybe 4 or 5 times, I tell people I have cat lives because I almost wasn't here about 5 times. And because of those experiences, unfortunately, I have to say that it made me and pushed me to dare to be me, to dare to step into what I truly want to do. And now I travel around the world. I'm publishing books. I'm connecting with amazing people with like you that have stories so that we can share them with the world and we can tell them, look, these are golden steps. This is what I went through. This is what I experienced. And these are the steps to take to get to where you want to be. And that's why I am so grateful that you are in the chapter in this book collaboration, so that you can share your message and help
Yeah.
other people, building that leadership skills and giving them that confidence and courage.
Yeah. Okay. Here I see one question, Jimstone NG. Yeah, she asked like parents don't know how to help their children. I agree with this 200%. Parents don't know how to support their kids, be educational or mental well-being, whatever, because we didn't got that chance. Like our parents, they provided the best they could, but now look at the technology. If my child comes to me, hey mom, play a game with me, and I'm like, I don't know how to play this. So it's not like I don't want to help him or play with him. I just don't know. And
Mhm.
not every parent is like sufficient to provide every kind. Like I have a son, and I grew up with my sister, my brother. We had a long like age gap, a big age gap. So I don't know.
Right.
And then I don't have a male figure in my house, no one around me. I'm all surrounded by women, so I don't know how to support my son. He wants to play games. Yes, I know how to play games or sports, but even then I need support, as
Mhm.
he's a 12-year-old and studying cybersecurity. And I'm like, I don't have any idea, because I grew up in education system where you have to take all the subjects till 10th grade, and then you pick choice subjects according to your parents for 11th and 12th.
Right.
And now you are completely lost what to do with your life.
Exactly.
And at the same time, my son, he is picking his favorite subjects by the age when he's in 6th grade or 7th grade. So it's a lot of like a difficulty for me to understand, like how to support him. And that's why I try to educate myself every day. So I'm educating my child, at the same time I'm educating myself, but even then I am lacking somewhere. So if we can provide that gap, and we can fill that gap with the right resources in the school system, as a parent we will be like, oh, now I can take a deep breath, because I have to pay the bills. I cannot be available on every point. I am trying my best as a single parent, but even then it's too much. So I agree with you, parents don't know how to help their children, but we are trying our best.
Exactly. Parents sometimes don't know how to help their children, Angie, and I'm glad you saw that message. But at the same time, one of the things that you can do as a parent is being able to observe our kids. I mean, he had this remote little cart, that cost us maybe $100, and he tore it apart, And as a mom at that time, I was like, whoa, he tore this car apart because he wanted to know how it was working. But then now he's working with airplanes. He's taking airplanes apart, right? Or putting them together. So we need to be able to look at what our kids are doing, What do they love? What are they passionate about? And what are they curious about? And then help them either with tutors, mentors, books, stories. There's a lot of information on the website that, with parental guidance, you can kind of give them access to that, so that they can gain ideas. Okay, how do I develop these entrepreneurship or career interests, so that we can start preparing them for the future?
Yeah.
Right. So, anyways, June, I loved having you here. And I know that you're in San Antonio, so you need to come to the studio here in Dallas. We have
I
an
will come.
amazing view, and I'd love to have you here. So, tell people, where can they find you?
I can be found very easily with my signature name. That's at the rate the Wisdom Pro. That's my personal account on every social media, be it YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. The Wisdom Pro. Or if someone wants to connect any trauma survivors, they can connect with my main business. That's Healing to Peace. Healing, numeric to, and peace. Again, everywhere. I'm very easy to find, easy to connect. and I love to talk to people. So please connect with me at the Wisdom Pro or Healing to Peace.
Thank you. Thank you. And then you can also type it in the chat and people will be able to find
Yes.
you. June, they can easily click and then go and find you.
Yeah.
Connect with her. She's an amazing entrepreneur person. And then she's also very knowledgeable in the area of women that have gone through some hardship with
Okay,
their spouse.
I want to just conclude my part by saying if people are like, maybe I was blessed with the opportunities. I was a homeless for 9 months in 2021 because of domestic violence. And I started my business and my life with a donation of $20 last year in January. And today I'm running three successful business and planning to launch two more. So if I can do this, you all can do. And yes, I also have permanent mental disability. I cannot drive, a single mother with two kids. Even then, I'm doing it. So I think you can also get some inspiration from my life. If I'm doing it, anyone can do.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here and then sharing your story. We are here on Radio Metroplex, which is the show Facturando tu Historia in Spanish, because we also have shows in Spanish, Power Talk in English, which is also Profit from Your Story. We tell stories to inspire, motivate, and give people confidence so that they can step into their greatness. They can have the courage to do anything they desire. And I bring global entrepreneurs from around the world to tell their stories and share their expertise and knowledge on what they're doing and how they got where they're at right now. So keep and stay tuned right now because we have another amazing global entrepreneur right here with us that he's going to share his story. And we're here every Friday at 5 p.m. Central. So tune in, and then make sure to ask questions. Ask us questions. Make comments on the chat, and thank you for all the likes and all the time coming to me whenever you see me. I love that you come and you connect and you want to know more about people that I interview. So I love your interest. I love you asking me questions. So keep coming to me and saying hi when you see me anywhere where I'm at. I really love that, you know. Clifford, hello Clifford. Thank you for being here, Clifford. And June, you can stay, or you're welcome to stay if you like, or you could
Yeah,
exit. It's up to you. Thank you. Clifford,
I would like to stay.
thank you. Clifford, thank you for being here. And I haven't really met you in person, but I will meet you in person hopefully in New York. What is it, in December? We're looking at December. Oh,
Yeah.
no, in Hawaii. You
October.
are
Yep.
from Hawaii. Yes, I'm mixing my collaborative books here. So, Jean Marie, if you're watching, I am so sorry. We connected with Clifford with Jean Marie. She's having an amazing event in Hawaii. I'm also publishing this collaborative book. It's called The Art of Saving Time and Money. And we have experts like Clifford that is going to share his story by writing a chapter. So tell us a little bit of who you are, where you live, and then we'll go into your story in a minute.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me. Much appreciated. And a Jew, great story. I'm glad you're supporting as many entrepreneurs as you are in the journey. For myself, I was a young boy who dealt with some trauma early on, and luckily not a whole lot, but my biological left when I was really, really young. My grandfather passed away. And when he passed away, it really scared the crap out of me. Like it froze me stiff. And what was interesting, my parents didn't necessarily know how to help me through that process. But I, at the time, coached myself through it. And I said, if I'm going to die, I better live as much life as I can. And then when I was 6, my mom remarried to the guy I call dad to this day. So I kind of had the framework and the mindset of there's people who are supposed to be there and they're going to drive out of your life. There's people who don't have to be there and they're going to drive into your life, and we're all going to die. So we have to live as much life as we possibly can. And so from going from that I had a lot of trials and tribulations and went through those processes. An overweight kid, I ended up losing the weight, got into athletics, became an academic athlete, fought in the UFC and fought in Bellator, and just now I want to inspire 1 billion people. And I'm learning lessons as I'm going through that process too.
Yeah. So I love it. I mean, it's not that I love that we go through chaos, but I love that people come here on the show and they share their story, because I know that you went through trauma, that you experienced some hardship while growing up and losing your loved ones. You know, my son also, he was fearing at one point because I had cancer, and they at that time they said, you know, somebody with that type of cancer would probably live like 5 years, and then he just panicked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to say something?
Well, no, yeah, I mean, similar. I started to freak out. I couldn't imagine life without my mom, but eventually one day it's a reality. And so part of the process that helped me kind of get through it was like, okay, what can I control? I can't control her health necessarily. I can just control how I spend my time with her, how I appreciate the moments, and just controlling, just taking and thinking of what I have in control of how I think about the situation and how I'm present during the situation. That really helped me move through. Even though she didn't pass away, it was still a very scary point in time in our life, and that process helped me kind of work through it. So.
Yeah. So it's really hard. So we kind of understand what you went through. So tell us, how did that shape you and take you to where you are right now? Like, where are you? What are you doing? And then tell us the chapter that you're going to be writing on the art of um, saving time and money.
Yeah. So for me, one thing I will say, I completely understand the control part, you know, focusing on controlling what we can and not trying to control the uncontrollables. But what's interesting, when we start focusing on what we can control, we realize we can control a lot more than we thought that we could. And that's where I was like, okay, what can I actually control? Holy crap, I can control a lot. But as I went through my journey, my chapter is about mindset, heart set, and skill set. And I did something, I call it the fighter's formula, where we go through a process. And as we're going through the process, there's usually some wounds involved. There's usually some healing involved. There's some action taking involved and some lesson learning involved. And each transformation you go through is there's new lessons for you to evolve from and learn from. But the art of making money and getting your time back, you know, that's not how I was conditioned. I wasn't conditioned to think, how do I do as little and make as much as possible? No one ever asked that question.
I love it. I love that question. How do you repeat that? How do you make a lot with less time?
Yeah. How do you make as much money as possible with as little time as possible? Like we don't ever think to ask those questions. We sit at a seat, we have a teacher teach us, and they teach us from their lens, from what they understand. Instead of taking the time to, I'll give an example. I have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. And the truth is, I can learn as much from them as they can learn from me. I'm not a person to say like, I got all the answers. I got it all figured out. I know what to do. I know what to do in my body, but it's my body, not theirs.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And it's being able to figure them out, because Andrew can attest to this, where we're trying to educate our kids, but at the same time, we need to be able to learn from them, to discover their learning patterns, to discover what they like, what they're interested in, and then help them explore those areas so that they can really evolve into what they want to become. Because they're our future, they're our future, either president or our future doctor, pilot. I mean, they are our future. And teachers, I love you to death, but we have to give them an opportunity, and parents, we have to give them an opportunity to express themselves and be able to talk. And if they scream or cry or jump around, then we need to figure out what's going on, because behavior is a form of communication. So we need to figure out, if they're crying, they're trying to communicate something with us, right? June and Clifford, anything on that? You can go ahead and talk at June if you need to make any comments.
No, I completely agree with both of you. Like, we need to give them time to express themselves, and not every child is similar. Some takes just 2 minutes to express themselves, and some can take 2 weeks. So we should give them that. As an adult, we should give them that safe space. And most of the time, as they're spending in the school system, how many hours they are going to stay at home or with us, that's a very little amount time. So we need to make school system very safe space where they can express themselves, where they can explore their ideas, where they have the right resources and the right mentor. So that's very important.
Yeah, I'm a philosopher by nature, so I like to know the why behind the why behind the why.
I love
And there's the behavior, and then I ask myself the question, why are they having the behavior that they're having? And I always, whenever my kids, more so my 6-year-old than my 2-year-old right now, because he doesn't quite understand at that aspect, but I want my son to be as aware as possible. Why mommy's doing what mommy's doing, why daddy's doing what daddy's doing, why he's doing what he's doing. And I say, just look around and see who's showing up and how they're showing up and why they're showing up in the way that they're showing up. Because my perspective lens is still my perspective lens, you know, and to deny a person's perspective, that's kind of hard to do. And so I remind my son, like, no matter what you think, if you think daddy's doing it right or daddy's doing it wrong or daddy's doing it completely obnoxiously, know that daddy loves you. And daddy always loves you. And we get better and better at communicating as we go through the process. In some areas, we're going to communicate perfectly. It's going to be simple. And then sometimes it's not going to be so simple. But let's do our best. I'm going to be the best dad that I can be, and you be the best son that you can be. And we just have fun along the journey.
Absolutely. You know, there's a saying by Stephen Covey. He says, seek to understand before being understood. And I think that's really important to really get and practice, because sometimes we get mad at the world, we get mad at people. And if we only understand why they're behaving the way they're behaving, why they have a certain perspective, then we would be able to understand them, maybe not agree with them, but understand where they're coming from. And not only that, there's a book by Debbie Ford that talks about, I think the title is why people do bad things. I think that's the title of the book. And I think it's important to kind of go get it, look at it, and then figure out why people do what they do. But again, Clifford, tell us about the art of saving time and money. Like, I know you're going to write the chapter. What is one of the nuggets you want people to walk away with when you write this chapter?
My number one nugget, my chapter is about blending it together. And you need all three to have a chance: mindset, heart set, and skill set. So I'll define all three. Mindset is the ability to think through something and to also know that you don't have all the answers. You know, everyone in the book is going to give me some sort of an answer. And so I always ask my mind, how does this apply to me? Because it allows my mind to open up, and it allows it to take and discard what it doesn't necessarily need. Because sometimes there's things we don't need. Sometimes there's something that you might need, but you might need it 5 years from now. But when you keep your mind open, you can at least see it. And if you can see it, you can act on it and work on it. Then the heart set, it's how we feel about something. You know, I fought in the UFC, I fought in Bellator, I fought with some of the best in the world. But when my heart was no longer in it, I couldn't do it. I had the mind, I had the skill, but without the heart to do it, and my heart was in a different place. I had my first son. And when I had him, I didn't want to go inside of a cage to fight with another killer. I was like, this doesn't feel so comfortable anymore. I don't like this anymore. So the risk just wasn't worth the reward.
Right.
So ask yourself, what are you like? I know they say being obsessed about something is crazy, and I don't think anyone really believes that, because I think we're all obsessed with something.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're all obsessed with something, and instead of saying like, oh, you're so obsessive, like, well, why are you obsessed with that?
Mm-hmm.
Figure out why do they love it so much? I love having those conversations with people. What makes you love that so much? What makes you, because they actually get even more fired up and love it even more while they're talking about it. It's the coolest thing ever.
I know. And you know what are the things, Clifford? And I even think my son can kind of back me up with this, because they experienced it. When you're passionate about something, that's all you want to talk about. And that's all you're thinking about. And then I would be talking to them about my passions like all the time while eating. And they're like, okay, Mom, let's talk about something else. But now he's doing it too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so cool, because I'll give you an example. With my fighting background, I can see that he's wearing a jiu-jitsu shirt.
Yeah.
So I don't know, do you practice jiu-jitsu, or do you just like jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I'm a black belt. I'm a first degree black belt in jiu-jitsu.
And now look, I'm getting even more excited knowing that about him. Yeah. Because now I have even more to have a conversation with, because he gets it in similar layers.
Yeah.
And so now we can start talking about positioning, timing, controlling what you can control. What are you confident about? What are you clear about? And I can use that in other areas of his life that he might not be so confident in, that he might not feel so good in. This guy's a badass. Like, he's sitting there as a badass because he's the one who put in the reps to become that black belt, to become something like, okay, this is greatness. And what's even more interesting, you get so great, you realize everyone's the same.
Yes.
It's just about putting in reps. And there's a saying, the black belt practices so much that the black belt eventually becomes white again. And that's the skill set. So then the skill set layer is, okay, how many skills can I get? Now, here's the thing. When you sharpen skills, you want to develop more. You just can't help yourself. It's human. If you've grown, you don't want to stop growing. You want to grow in a new area. You want to grow in new ways. I would have never guessed. When I said I wanted to influence 1 billion people, I didn't know what I was signing up for. I ended up learning real quick. I was like, oh, it's a lot harder than I thought it was.
It is.
But usually that's the way it is with life. When you want to live, and it goes back to that 5-year-old kid, because I was 5 when I saw my grandfather in the coffin. 5. I said I wanted to live a life worth living, but I didn't know what it took to live a life worth living. It's touching your feet on the ground every day and waking up to live. It's not, oh, I made it to the top and I've got there. Like, no, time doesn't pass for anybody. And when you stop, you're already going into, well, you might as well just be dying, because that's what you're doing. And so living's a daily thing.
Yeah, it's like dying in your life, and when you're dead in your life, it's because you're not living your passion, because you feel stuck, and maybe you have a belief of that someone or something, or you're not good enough, that you can't take the position that you want and take the action that you need in order to get where you want to be. So we're here trying to encourage people. We're here on Radio Metroplex, which is the capital. We're in Texas, Arlington, Texas, the capital of sports, events, entertainment. And we also have rock and roll on this show. Not on this show, but on Radio Metroplex. And my show is on Facturando tu Historia, Profit from Your Story, where we have power talks so that we can inspire, motivate, and give people confidence so that they can step into their greatness by listening to other entrepreneurs, global entrepreneurs like Clifford and Anjun and Jorge and other amazing global entrepreneurs that come to my studio or are online. We tell stories so that you can also take that risk and take that chance on you. And the other thing I really want to mention is that Jorge is an author on Dare to Be Me Through Cancer, getting crystal clear on how to fly. You're also an author on De Cero al Éxito, which is a Spanish collaborative book. And I am a publisher for those of you that are out there. So the way that I get stories out is by having and publishing collaborative books like this one, like the one that Clifford is on, The Art of Saving Time and Money, and on June is on Ed Matadores, which is also another collaborative book. And the reason we do that because I truly am fascinated and love telling and sharing stories and sharing messages that inspire and give people hope. And if you want to be an author, if you want to publish a book, or if you have no idea what to do, there's notebooks that you can also publish where there's empty pages, and you can take people and helping them reflect and write notes in your notebook. So become an author, because everybody has a story to share that will inspire somebody out there that's waiting for you, right? To hear that message.
Yeah.
So
100%.
anyways, tell us, Clifford, where can people connect with you, and where can they find you?
Yeah. So I am on Facebook and LinkedIn. Just type in Clifford Starks and you can find me there. I will also find a link so that I can post it for everybody, because I know that would be quite a bit easier.
Yes,
But those are the best ways to find me.
exactly. And is there a message that you want to leave people with?
Yeah. You listening, you're amazing. Jew, you're amazing. Dr. B, you're amazing. Or hey, you're amazing. Everyone has amazing stories, and every day you touch the ground, if you've done what you've come to do, awesome. And if you haven't, that's okay too, because now you get an opportunity. That's all life is an opportunity. So every single day you get an opportunity, and ask yourself the question, am I living the way that I want to live?
Exactly. I love it. What would you like to leave the people? What message would you like them to walk away with?
I kind of just want to touch on a little bit what Clifford said as my final message. Like, the other day, someone asked me what tips would I give to someone starting jiu-jitsu, but I'm going to just say any tip to any endeavor you start. Okay, when you start, have the mindset, the growth mindset that you're always learning, you're always pursuing just getting better at the craft you're trying to do. So I'm just going to stick to jiu-jitsu because that's what I know. So as you go through jiu-jitsu, and let's say life, you're going to have obstacles, you're going to have bumps in the road, but just remind yourself, why did I start this journey? Jiu-jitsu, reaching 1 billion people, reaching the education system. Why do you start this journey? And then kind of ground yourself in the gratitude, like, wow, I have the opportunity to learn. I have the opportunity to get better. So don't feel discouraged when you hit roadblocks in anything you're pursuing. Ground yourself. Think back as, for example, the white belt. Oh, I love jiu-jitsu. And I just get reinvigorated every time I think about it. My obsession with jiu-jitsu is higher than ever. I'm 11 years in, and I'm like always searching for something new. And yeah, I have times like, why do I do this to myself? But then I'm like, you know what? This is the life I live. I love this life. I love pursuing this journey I'm on. But it doesn't have to be jiu-jitsu. I apply that to everything else in life. I'm getting better in jiu-jitsu. How can I get better in my parenting, my business, being a better son? And just, if you carry that mindset with anything you're pursuing, I think it'll help you with any journey you go on. So yeah, that's my final.
And one of the chapters you wrote, I think in the Cero al Éxito, was having a championship mindset. You know, why do you think people should have that mindset? It's not actually that you're going to win all the time, but what is it?
The championship mindset to me is you're pursuing excellence, but it's the journey of excellence, right? There, you can reach the top of the mountain, but then you look and there's another mountain higher to reach. But the journey it took you to reach that peak, it's going to make it easier to get to the next one, kind of. So that to me is the championship mindset. Rolling with the punches, figuring things out, and pursuing excellence, just being grateful in the journey. And real champions take losses, but they don't let them keep them down. They keep going forward and they find a way to make it. That's what the championship mindset is for me.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
Can I add
Francesca?
on the championship mindset?
Yes, yes, yes. Go ahead.
I love that. I love that answer.
Yeah.
And I say, when I started talking about the why behind the why behind the why, we're all champions.
Mm-hmm.
We're all champions. Sometimes it's all doing the non-champion thing is someone who forgot that they were a champion.
Yes.
And that's why you lift them back up and remind them who they are. I've dealt with people who dealt with drug addiction and worse problems than that. I lift them up, remind them who they are, and they start remembering and start acting the way that they know they were meant to act.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. It's reminding people who they are. I love it. I love it. And it's a great concept because people do forget who they are. And many times I think our society, our community, our education system, our loving parents have certain beliefs that they pass on to us that do not serve us, and we tend to believe it, and then we forget who we are because we're trying to please those that we truly care for and that we love, right?
I agree. Yeah, and I've dealt with that.
Yeah.
Like I put champions on this pedestal, but Clifford mentioned this earlier. We're all the same. We all bleed. We all cry. We all have the same potential, and I think you have to be reminded. Luckily, I have the mom I have that reminds me of my potential, and it gets me back on the saddle. And I think everybody's capable of that.
That's awesome.
June, you were going to say something, June?
Yeah, I agree with all of you. Like, it's more like challenging your beliefs
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
we were discussing earlier. And we all have fallbacks. When we talk about championship mindset or growth mindset, it's not always like going like this. It goes like this. But the point is, what make you the champion? You don't stay on the downfall. You rise up again with more strength, with more experience, and with more power. You don't stay there. That's the difference. When we talk about growth mindset, people are like, oh, I get a lot of failures. We all get,
Mm-hmm.
but we get up. We don't stay there. We keep moving. Don't stay there physically, mentally, in any way. Just find another way to do it. Just find another. There is another way. And challenge yourself, challenge your beliefs, what you were believing yesterday. And the message I will always share with people, don't think what you missed yesterday or 2 minutes back.
Mm-hmm.
Start now. Do it now. Get up and just do it. You have
Exactly.
your full ocean in front of you, and you can fill up how many buckets you want.
Mm-hmm.
It's on you.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Francesca, gracias, querida. She's saying that she likes how I look. I just have to say thank you. But anyways, I just have to say that I am so grateful that all of you are following us and you're listening to these amazing experts, entrepreneurs, leaders, global leaders that are here. Jorge, that's here, June, that's online, and Clifford, thank you for saying yes and being here and sharing your story, because I know that somebody out there is waiting for your message. And I also want to say that I'm going to take a minute to ask for support. I'm looking for models. If you are a woman that went through some type of cancer and you've already surpassed that challenge and you would like a modeling opportunity, connect with me. I'm going to have a fashion show in November for women that have cancer so that we can raise funds for women that are struggling with some type of cancer. And we're also going to have that toy drive because in December we have an event for children that have cancer, and we're going to give them gifts during that event. So if you want to support us, you want to sponsor us, then connect with me. Or if you want to be a model and you've experienced some type of cancer, connect with me because I am looking for models for my fashion show. And again, I'm Dr. B. People know me as the ultimate legacy builder because it's all about leaving a legacy. How do you want people to remember you for generations to come? We need to share our stories because we experienced some type of chaos, but at the same time, we discovered the learning from the chaos and the aha moment that inspired us to become who we are now. So again, thank you so much. Hugs and kisses to both of you. And I'm hoping to get you live on my studio. I'm going to have the red carpet event. I think it's in February or March. I don't remember right now, but I'd love to have you too in my red carpet event. We rent a big studio. We do a TV show. We do a lot of media, and hopefully we'll get you there.
Nice.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, Jorge. Thank you.
Awesome, nice to meet
Tell
you guys.
him about your academy really quick. He has an academy.
Yes, hi.
Nice.
If you are located in DFW, we have a gym in Grand Prairie, Texas. We're only 4 months in on this endeavor. We are located in my garage right now, 1321 Halifax Street, Grand Prairie, Texas. By October, we should have our first official location. So get in now with our founders deal that we got going on, and you're locked in at our rates. You can't beat that. Me and my brother Diego, he's a brown belt. He's probably due for his black belt in December. So 2 high-level, passionate black belts in Grand Prairie, Texas. So come on by and check us out. 30-day free trial.
Yeah, I'm so proud of
Let's
you.
definitely talk. Yeah, I want to see how I can promote that for you.
Thank
That's awesome.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're on Facebook, Vasquez Jiu-Jitsu. We're on Instagram, Vasquez Jiu-Jitsu, and we're working on our website, but they will be plugged into our social media, so we will have
Nice.
access to it.
Okay. So maybe after the show, you can connect with me because I do a lot of promotions. I have a great following and my followers love me and I love them. I have a very good, big community on LinkedIn or Instagram and now growing on Facebook and TikTok too. And then I do also have my website, Healing to Peace. We offer advertisement spaces, like especially if you're coming with a cause or something. So we have some special offers for you.
Definitely.
So just connect with me.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Clifford, you want to promote something?
The Fighters Formula come to Hawaii October 22nd.
Thank
Let's
you.
hold it down and get ready to have a lot of fun because it's about
Absolutely. We're
the
going to be
most
in
important thing
Hawaii.
is
What was the date
enthusiasm.
for Hawaii?
Having enthusiasm. What?
What's the date for the Hawaii? It's
October 22nd to the 29th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if you want to join us in Hawaii, we're having a big event. There's going to be amazing speakers like Clifford, and you'll meet other ones on our show next week. I will see you every Friday at 5 p.m. Central, and right now we're going to dance with you for a little bit. Jorge doesn't like dancing, but I'm a dancer, by the way. I love dancing.
Yeah.
You're not a dancer, Jorge?
No, my moves are on the mat. That's it.
He has 2 left feet, right? 2 left feet.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
See? Okay.
Chévere que estamos en el estadio.
Okay. We are here by the studio in Arlington, Texas, like the Dallas Cowboy
This
Stadium.
traffic is for the Metallica rock and roll show.
Concert.
Yeah, there's the Metallica concert, so you can see it's a beautiful view here. So if you haven't been here, we're in Radio Metroplex in Arlington, Texas, which is the capital of sports, events, and entertainment. We are here every Friday at 5 p.m. Central. So make sure to connect with us because we bring global entrepreneurs from around the world with amazing messages and stories to share with you. So thank you. Ready?
Jorge literally just gone.
Bye. See you.
Take care, amazing.